Hey everyone, before I begin with the main part of this video, I just want to say that this video is dedicated to my grandmother, Diana Donofrio. The Tuesday after Easter, she had fallen and hit her head and ended up in the hospital. And she has been recovering since. At first we didn't know what was going to happen. We didn't know if we would lose her or not, but luckily she is recovering rather well at the moment, and I just wanted to make this video not only dedicated to her and her recovery, but just as a little video for you to watch, Grandma, while you're getting better. And I hope that you are at a point soon where you can come home and you can spend some time with all of us and just be able to hopefully start doing a couple more normal things again. I love you a lot, and I hope that you enjoy this video that is dedicated to you. A few years ago, I made a statement on TikTok during No Nuanced November that if you considered yourself a comic book fan and you don't have a single female character in your top 10 comic characters, then I find that really suspicious. I still stand by that statement to this day. Sure, female characters have not been promoted to the forefront as often as they truly should be, but there has been more than enough forms of content over the last 30 years that if you are truly a comic book fan, you should have found at least one character you like. Now you may say, Ev, you're thinking too much about this. It's not that big of a deal. And I just want to ask, why do you not find disrespect to amazing female characters in the media to be a problem? Over the last 30 years, we have had so many amazing portrayals of female characters in comics, in animation, in television, and in film. Well, most of the ones in film have been amazing.
Kal-El, no!
Kal-El, no!
Anyways, young children have been able to be inspired by characters like Supergirl, Wonder Woman, Miss Marvel, the Black Panther. Heck, even comic female heroes like the Gems from Steven Universe over these last 20 plus years. Getting to be inspired by and exposed to the strong, smart, talented female leaders and heroes in the media. Young girls have representation, and representation matters. Let me say that again. Representation matters. So with that in mind, I want to share some of the amazing female heroes I grew up with in media. Characters that deserve even more representation and promotion. And I'll try to do my best to share some specific media about each of them you can check out. With that said, let's get into this. In the late 1960s, one of the most prevalent characters in all of comics was introduced for the first time. Barbara Gordon, who more people know as Batgirl, was created by television producer William Dozier, editor Julius Schwartz, writer Gardner Fox, and artist Carmine Infantino. Stories state that Dozier, who was the producer of the 60s Batman television series, requested Schwartz to call for a new female counterpart to the superhero Batman that could be introduced into publication and the third season of the show simultaneously. Barbara made her first comic book appearance as Batgirl in Detective Comics number 359, titled The $1 Million Debut of Batgirl, in January 1967. allowing her to be introduced into the television series portrayed by actress Yvonne Craig in the season 3 premiere Enter Batgirl, Exit Penguin in September later that same year. Barbara Babs Gordon quickly grew in popularity from there, from comics to live action to animation to even being a playable character in video games. Barbara Gordon became not only one of the biggest female characters in comics, but arguably one of the bigger comic book characters through pop culture in general. In 1988, Barbara Gordon would even be a key figure in potentially and arguably the most influential comic in history, Batman the Killing Joke. In this comic, Barbara is shot and paralyzed by the Joker, a key aspect that was added to her character for years to follow. This is where I truly want to bring up the importance of Barbara Gordon, to not only myself growing up, but the world as a whole. Being paralyzed did not stop Barbara from being able to help Batman and to fight crime. Taking up the mantle of Oracle, Barbara used her genius-level intellect to not only hack into security systems and mainframes of Gotham, but use it to run a connected network of heroes to help bring criminals to justice and still be just as amazing, if not even more influential as a hero for Gotham. It didn't matter if she couldn't use her legs. She was still a hero. Yes, she is an amazing Batgirl, but it's her time as Oracle that has shown me that no matter what may happen in my life, that I can always find a way to use my talents for good, that I don't have to be held back. Storm, the Goddess of Thunder, was first introduced in Giant Size X-Men #1 in 1975. In the story, herself and other mutants from all around the world are recruited by Charles Xavier himself to form a new X-Men team and save the original team, who has disappeared while on a mission on the island of Krakoa. Since her first appearance, she has not only been a frequent leader of the X-Men, but has also been a member of the Avengers and even the Fantastic Four. On top of all this, she has been portrayed on multiple occasions in animation and on the big screen in live-action superhero blockbuster films. Most famously, her portrayal by Halle Berry in the 2000s X-Men film franchise was many, including my own, people's first introduction to this amazing character. When Aurora Monroe was first introduced in 1975, not many black women, let alone black superheroes, had been introduced in the mainstream at that time. When doing my research, I actually had thought she was the first black female superhero, but learned she actually had two predecessors. Nubia, from DC Comics in 1973, and Misty Knight, who Marvel had only introduced 2 months prior to Storm. All three of these women are amazing characters, and I highly recommend that you all look into Misty Knight and Nubia after this video because they are awesome. Now when it comes to Storm, there are actually some big firsts that I want to share though. Since her introduction in Giant Size X-Men #1, Aurora has not only been a key member and a leader of the team, but she is also credited as not only the first black woman to lead a superhero team, but the first woman in general. It is Aurora Monroe's leadership qualities that have always drawn me to her and to her stories over the years. The way she goes about everything from missions to teaching students to leading nations. She does it with this awe-inspiring leadership that sets her apart from everyone else. Everything she does with grace, with compassion, with confidence, with purpose. She always seems to know what is best for the team. And while she demands respect, she is also willing to reciprocate the respect that she has earned. It is very much why I not only consider herself the best leader for the X-Men, but arguably the best leader of any superhero team ever. Plus, as a bonus, she's not an absolutely despicable piece of garbage leading the team like Charles Xavier. Sorry, not sorry. Throughout the years, her leadership has been a big inspiration for me, pushing me to be the best leader I could be in scouting, in my jobs, and just my everyday life. This is why Aurora Monroe, Storm, is and will always be one of my favorite superheroes of all time. Whoa, 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 she is not a comic book character, you might say. And yeah, you're right, but I never specifically said all of my favorite female superheroes had to be from comics. Also, if I didn't include a character from one of arguably the most influential superhero films of all time, it would be so wrong. Seriously, if you haven't watched the movie Incredibles, first off, why? Second, go watch it. For people who say they've never watched a superhero movie or aren't into a superhero genre, I always recommend they give this movie a watch because it is the perfect introduction to what a superhero and the superhero genre truly is. People with extraordinary powers struggling to find the balance of helping people and being normal. Helen Parr, aka Elastigirl, aka Mrs. Incredible, is my third and final character I want to showcase for this video. I could have honestly chosen so many other characters throughout media, from Wonder Woman, to Nubia, to Penny Parker, heck to Tank Girl. But I wanted to go in and take a character I not only grew up with, but also didn't come from comics at all. Coming from the 2004 hit Disney Pixar movie The Incredibles, Helen Parr is the perfect example of a superhero trying to just fit in and live a normal life. Something so many heroes always seem to struggle with. She's not only the most famous female superhero in her world, but she's now a mom, taking care of her children, who also have powers, and juggling the troubles of everyday suburban life. For someone who has elasticity powers, she struggles with having to be quite flexible for her family. In all seriousness, I didn't realize until I was writing this voiceover script that for each of the Parr family members, their powers were metaphors for how they were dealing with life. Perhaps I'll go into that more in the future, though, as I would like to cover the Incredibles franchise as a whole in a future video. Anywho, when it came to female superheroes, let alone superheroes as a whole, The Incredibles and Elastigirl felt the most realistic of any heroes I had seen growing up. Not only did Helen Parr show that it was cool to be a parent and a superhero, but she reminded me so much of the women in my life. My mom and my grandma. Both my mom and my grandma seemed super when I was a kid. They juggled doing so much to make sure that they could be there for my family, for my sister and I. They always encouraged us and pushed us to be the best that we could be, while also supporting us in whatever we wanted to do. I look forward to the day I am hopefully a parent, but even as an uncle to the most amazing kid in the world, I do my best to be super. Making sure a child knows they are loved, taken care of, and protected, while I still also do my best to achieve my own dreams. That balance, it is what will make me super, and hopefully be an inspiration for my nephew and my future children. If I can just do what I can to inspire our future generations, then I know I achieved my true meaning of being super, and I'll be happy. Now, these were just 3 of the amazing female superheroes that I grew up with, and I can definitely share even more in the future for all of you, but I wanted to make sure I could share these 3 because they truly did inspire me growing up. These 3 are not only 3 amazing female heroes, but some of the best examples of true heroes in all of media. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I very much appreciate you all letting me ramble about the awesome characters I grew up with. If you enjoyed watching me talk about superheroes, I suggest not only giving this video a like, but also subscribing, because I talk about comics and superheroes and movies all the time. Before I end this video, I want to hear who your favorite female superheroes are. Comment them down below and why you like them. Lastly, this is to my grandma. Grandma, I love you so much. Thank you for being super grandma for me as I was growing up. I hope that as you're watching this, you are so much closer to coming home as you recover. Till next time, all of you keep being super, and I'll see you again soon.